Hello, the purpose of this video is to provide a brief overview of the Global Prize PhD cohort and give some background information and some of my ideas for my dissertation proposal. So the Global Prize program is a doctoral program at TTU. It's a hybrid delivery, which it's mostly online. We met a total of 6 times face-to-face. We met 3 times in the summers for intense like 2-week meetings, and then we met twice at conventions and once in Washington, D.C. It has over 90 students spread across 5 cohorts. Now, the area of the Global Prize cohort that I'm interested in is our global collaboration experiences, which is a big part of Global Prize. We had 3 distinct experiences. In year 1, we experienced global collaboration as a participant. So what that meant is that we participated in a global collaboration activity. We worked with another school as a participant and created some sort of activity. Not as the teacher, but as an actual participant. We also read Flattening Classrooms, Changing Minds. We use that as our primer on how to conduct global collaborative activities. In year 2, we mentored a teacher and their class as they conducted a global collaboration activity. And then in year 3, we took it a step further and mentored a group of teachers, either a department or a grade level. So one of the things that's been recently published when it comes to global collaboration is the Global Collaborative Continuum. This was initially designed early by Dr. Smith and one of his students before Global Prize started. It was published in an article in the Science Teacher by cohort members from Cohort 1, Jill Nugent, Linda Cook, Meredith Bell, and also Dr. Smith, who was the founder of the Global Prize program. And this basically takes different types of activities and spreads them along a continuum where you have really no direct involvement with your collaboration. You're just sharing data. That's early on. Parallel activity, you're doing an activity at the same time. Shared data, limited collaboration, engaged, and so forth. So anyway, there's these 6 different areas in the continuum of different types of activities. And I, of course, could provide more information on that. But what I wanted to know, and these are my questions, is what challenges, which I've been calling perceived barriers, did cohort members experience during their global collaboration activities? And then how did those cohort members overcome these challenges, which I've called promising practices? Now, some possible sub-questions. Did the cohort members experience different barriers when they conducted different types of global collaborative activities, such as those activities on the global collaborative continuum? And what promising practices provided impact across the global collaborative continuum? So were there some strategies that you could use regardless of what type of activity you were doing? So the purpose of this is to inform practitioners on the challenges and ways to reduce or overcome these challenges. So if a educator has chosen, for whatever reason, to do global collaboration, this would help them identify what type of activity they may want to do based on the barriers I've identified. Also, this could add to the global collaboration literature by focusing on the challenges and promising practices within the science classroom. Much of the literature out there is very broad in nature or is not specific to K-12 education or specific to science. And also I'd do something new that I'm not really seeing out there is specify challenges and promising practices based on the type of activity. There are some out there on specific types of products created, but I could expand upon that. My literature review would focus on literature that specifically identifies challenges and promising practices. These are the educator press books that have a good foundation in that, and also there's various articles out there as well. Something that I'm struggling with is a theoretical framework. My initial chair said I did not need one, but my current chair said it was necessary for the dissertation, and honestly I can't come up with any kind of theoretical framework to base this on. Now I have an IRB approved study. So Dr. Carpenter, the last thing we did together before he left in July of 2017 was to get an IRB submission through, and it was approved, and I will include a copy of that with a link to this video. So what I planned to do was survey the cohorts, and I would have them identify what type of collaborative activity they did. They would base it on the continuum. Then they would briefly identify their top 3 to 5 challenges and also identify how they overcame those challenges. What I would then do is code and correlate these challenges and promising practices. I would look for themes, and then I would look for trends. Themes, different types of barriers, different types of promising practices, and how those trended across the continuum. I would then purposely sample cohort members. I would target certain members based on their responses. If they were a good data point, either with a type of perceived challenge, a type of promising practice, or within the continuum. And this would help me provide trustworthiness of the coding and the correlation, and also to dig deeper into the results. Now, when it comes to a Chapter 3 outline, I've requested if there's a template available. I've asked the Doctoral Research Center and the Education. They have a doctoral research assistants in the Education Department if they had a template. And also, Dr. Carpenter had us all use this portable dissertation advisor book as our guide. When I presented that to my new chair and committee, they didn't seem all that interested in using it. So I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are on this. So there you go. There's my initial thoughts. And as I get more guidance on what Chapter 3 should look like, I'll create a roughed up outline. Thanks.